Hello and welcome back to the Align Strength podcast. Today I have a very special guest who we have had in the past. Amanda Lynn is back with us. And today Amanda and I are just going to have a real open conversation about what it means to unplug, slow down, the world being in chaos and rebuilding itself and getting back to simplicity. So grab some coffee, take a walk, go outside, or just sit back and enjoy this conversation. So, welcome back, Amanda.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Yeah. So, just talking about life, and let's start with some noise. Let's start with the noise that's going on in the world and how you're taking it and what's happening for you.
Yeah, there is a lot of it. Yeah, there's been a lot of tension building for quite some time. I don't think it's anything that we didn't know was coming. I feel like we're hitting the crescendo point, but 2020 kind of kicked it all off. And I feel like the pendulum is swinging hard from both ends, right? 2020 kind of kicked it off. We were on one end of the spectrum, and we're going each way, and eventually, hopefully, we're going to come to this turning point of hopefully neutrality. But I think there'll be some destruction before then, and not in a bad way. I mean, I think at some point everything has to burn in order to be rebuilt. So we're kind of in that rebuilding phase. I don't think it's maybe anything new. I think we've always gone through these periods of, we've had the American Revolution, the Civil War, a couple of world wars. We've been here before in terms of division, civil rights movement, different religious wars. So yeah, in a lot of terms, I think we've been here before. But I think this is different in terms of how we play it out, and that is where free will comes in, and that's where we all get to decide where we're going. And on a micro level, before we can exhale on a macro level, we have to like figure it out in our own lives. So I feel like a lot of people are under a lot of stress and pressure, and just a transformative stage of what am I going to do next? What does this look like for me? We're briefly talking before we got on the podcast about, you had recently switched churches, and I think just all these little like micro movements, people are just going, yeah, this isn't working for me anymore. I don't want to subscribe to this. I don't want to feed into the division. I don't want to watch things play out on the world stage. I'm sick of scrolling and it being constant. Like, first off, anything that I say in a conversation, I magically have ads to. The next time I start scrolling, which just creeps me out. So the AI component of things, where there's this like fast forward movement where I feel like there's a bit of a loss of control in terms of like, what's being overheard or what they're kind of tapping into. I am over knowing that the algorithms are based off of whatever we're feeding or liking, right? So if we like something, then we're just going to get more of it. While the person sitting next to me could be liking something different, and they're getting a totally different feed, which is just perpetuating the division. The constant opinions, the constant like partial need to feel as though I need to keep up because I'm not like up on current events, and I don't feel like I'm well versed enough in like, political happenings or worldly events, whatever the situation may be, and also being so burnt out to the point of like complete apathy that I don't want to know anything and I just don't care. It just feels like everything is a hard swing, right? For me personally, this week has just been like breaking inside, like that kind of internal shattering where you just have this like complete surrender moment and you kind of throw your hands up and you sit your ass down and you just go, do with me what you will. I have no idea where I'm going, what I'm doing. I will openly admit that. I am sick of trying to figure it out, trying to make it work. Okay. Like I'm going to get more grounded. I'm going to I found myself listening to like completely different music. I have like listened to different podcasts that I've never listened to before, and just a complete different shift. And I think that shift is happening in a lot of people on a lot of different levels in different areas of their life. And there's
I
kind of
would,
just these downloads
yeah,
that are
I would
going.
agree. Yes, because I feel like that's been me like for, I don't know, the last 6 months to a year,
Mhm,
and how I've reached out to you numerous times, and it's just getting like, where am I supposed to go where I feel like I'm stuck.
mhm.
I felt like I've
Like
been
the
stuck
old
for.
isn't working anymore. Something's not working.
Correct.
I don't know what. I
Correct.
don't know why.
Yeah.
It just like intuitively it doesn't feel right. And I
Yeah.
don't want it, but I also don't know what it looks like to not have it.
Yeah. And so, like, the last, I would say, and I've been focusing on getting grounded, doing all the grounding exercises, meditation. I'd say the last 3 months really hard, and then like something, give me a sign, something come to me that like what I'm supposed to do, like it's, and the universe will give it to you with ease, what it's supposed to be, right? So um I feel like getting in tune to myself and listening to my intuition, which sometimes it goes out the window, right? I'm not going to listen, but really trying to focus on that. And we've made some shifts and some different little changes the last couple of weeks, but I feel like it's um, just what we're supposed to be doing, and making you feel good, right? So I'm doing something that, okay, this feels good. Listen to it, listen to your body, listen to your mind if it feels good. So yeah, like we switched churches a couple weeks ago, which I've been wanting to do, and I've been for a couple years actually. And then finally I was just like, all right, this is the time. And then starting a few hours a day, working a couple hours a day in the local school district. That starts next week. So I'm working with special education kids a couple hours a day, which it came to me with ease. And I feel like it is what I'm supposed to do. Like, it feels like this is going to help fill the other half of your cup, right? Like, I
Mhm,
help people, adults. Sometimes we have, youth in the gym, and I'm able to help them with that to become a better person, become a healthier person. And it's just a part of me is feeling like I'm being pulled to do this as another half of it with kids, with students. Um, so
mhm,
helping them with schoolwork, the special education kids, and just helping them build confidence. Like, right, I'm helping other
mhm.
adults build confidence at the gym. I
Well,
feel like this is what I'm supposed to do to help kids build confidence too. So it's just like I'm just listening to my intuition, go with what comes to you, don't fight it. Cuz I feel like sometimes I fight things like, no, I'm supposed to be doing this. So this that's coming to me, I'm holding off on it. So, like, you know, getting trying to get in tune to what feels right and simple.
mhm. Which is hard when
Going
so
back to
many things
simplicity.
are
Yeah.
being massively
Mhm.
rearranged. Yeah, it's hard
Yes.
to listen amongst the noise because there is so much going on. There's so much internal and external, especially external pull. But there just feels like there has been this crescendo happening, right? This like slow build of tension, and it just feels like it's happening at a more rapid rate. And it's hard to, yes, it's hard to get quiet when there's so much. It's just there's a constant uptick of it. So I feel like this week has been very much that pause, slow down, stop. You're not listening, and maybe like sometimes there isn't. Another intuitive friend of mine and I were talking about this, where there are just these pauses where there isn't anything. There's not some magical sign that's going to come that's just going to like guide you and direct you on the next thing. It's just getting quiet, maybe to like just get quiet, to have the somatic experience of nothingness, like there's not always this like destination where there's the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. Um, and I feel like as things continue to build in the external, which they're not, it's not going anywhere. I mean, the next 6 months it's gonna be continuous here for a while. Um, yeah, we have to figure out how we're going to shift it because we have the potential for it to go into a place that we don't want it to. And I think all these little micro shifts where people are just having these like downloads and they're just going, I don't want to do this anymore. Like I'm sick of my own shit. I don't know what's next, but I'm sick of my own shit and I don't want to continue to do this. And I'm going to change this. I'm going to change churches. I'm going to change, jobs. I'm going to, say no more to distractions. I'm going to be more intentional with my time and energy. I'm going to not continue in addictive patterns where I just keep defaulting to the same old, and I'm going to try and consciously choose to be around different people or whatever it is, right? I feel like it's what used to take years is now taking months, and what used to take months is now taking weeks. What used to take weeks is now taking days. Like people are having very rapid transformative, to them it might be nothing huge, like, oh, whatever, I switched to church, but it's like that's a whole different community, that's a whole different way of looking at things, that's a whole it could be bigger than, yeah, like I said, the micro movements. It feels like tectonic plates are shifting underneath us, and these like little micro movements, what is a ripple becomes a wave. And again, I think we're feeling that societally, that as the division appears to continually, the gap seems to widen. Um, I think we have this opportunity to just get back to our humaneness and like our basic humanity. Like I've been more intentional about holding the door for someone or just smiling at someone as I walk past them. A friend and I were talking about this last week. She's moving from city to a small town, and she's like, yeah, you guys like all say hi to each other and like you smile and look at each other or something in small towns. I don't know. We don't do that here, and it's just so crazy. Like, yeah, that's wild. She's like, yeah, I don't know. We just kind of walk past each other and pretend we don't know each other. It's fine. And it's like, yeah, it's gotten so robotic, right? Like, so we're so out of touch with each other because we're so in our own shit. And really, people are in a lot of crisis right now. Like, I'm not undermining that. Like, crisis is, yeah, there's a lot of it. People are really in some crappy situations.
Hmm.
It's hard to think
What?
outside yourself when that's happening.
Oh,
When you're
yeah, absolutely. Yes. Um, what do you think for like for you right now? Okay, so you're going through, a time when you're like, what do I do? So, what are you do, doing? Let's just say yesterday. Like, what? Let's just talk
well,
about yesterday.
right. Monday morning, I opened up I think it was a Facebook story, which I never look at Facebook stories, so that's interesting. But, um, and it was Brandon Lake, singing Gratitude. And I had never heard the song before, and I looked it up on YouTube and like listened to the words and the whole song, and like all I have left is like all I have in me is a hallelujah, like I got nothing else. And that transpired into me just sitting on the kitchen floor having like a complete somatic release, bawling my eyes out. I don't even know why, it just came out of nowhere. And it was just like this picture in my head of a compass that just is spinning, like it can't gauge. And I just said, show me my true north. Like, thy will be done. What is this? And I'm not generally like a super Christian person. I've always had a little bit of dissonance with the church. I grew up Catholic. Not my favorite thing. My daughter had introduced me to a church in Rochester in March, and I had a profound experience when I went, and I've probably only went 10 times since then. But there is like more of this, like I've been listening to a lot of like worship music. I love their music. They're like full bands, you know, so cool. And that's what I've been doing is like I listened to a podcast on Brandon Lake, and I've started listening to his music, which just came up with like more worship music. And this is like totally out of the norm for me. This is not anything that like I'm an AC/DC girl. Like I'm
Well,
like
that's
shine down and like,
yeah,
you know.
that's the same with us though, like because that's the church that we are now at has full bands, and like we listen to that's the type of music I listen to now too.
Yeah.
I switch it up, but I love listening to that music, and it's
Yeah.
just like put a whole new joy. My kids love it too. Like
Yeah.
it's been great.
Well, it's
So
not
I
it's
know,
not just hymns. Like it's like actual
yes,
music. You know, it's like yeah, it's
yes,
worship. I mean, even his like popular song, which is Heartfelt Hallelujah, isn't it? That he did with
uh,
Jelly Roll.
okay,
Is like
okay,
he's like a Christian singer who is
yeah,
like jamming and it's like actually good music.
yes,
That's all. Yeah, so I don't that's been my week. Just kind of this total surrender. I'm not going to pretend to know. I don't know what's next. Getting a lot more quiet and just like pulling myself back and saying like what is this? What is this new world? Like I even had a conversation. I was out with friends for the Vikes game on Sunday and I had this conversation with someone at the bar about he was able to see Andrew Huberman. I'm sure you know Dr. Andrew Huberman, talk at a conference that he was at in California. He'd never heard of him. And he was like, yeah, he was talking about, you go outside in the morning and get sunlight in your eyes and like you ground and that's all the life hacks that Andrew has. And I just started laughing and I was like, isn't it funny that like we have to be told to do that? But he's my mom's age. And I was like, but when you were younger, you got out of bed, you went to the barn, so you got sunlight in your eyes, you were out in the elements, and you were getting exercise. We didn't like have to have someone like we didn't have to listen to a podcast for someone to tell us that. Like the world is just getting weird. Like it's weird
yes,
that we have to
yes,
like hire people to tell us this when it used to just be like, well, that's called milking cows or that's called farming or
yeah. That's
you
called
know
not having phones.
right, right. Yeah,
Yes.
good call. Good
Yep.
call. Exactly. So it's like, I don't know, things have just gotten so weird and so trippy that like we pay for things that used to just be a normal part of our life. And now like someone's made an industry is making money off it, which whatever is fine, but I don't know. The world has just changed a lot.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Um so okay, so for you, I mean like you had your meltdown grounding, but what else do you like to do for to like bring yourself back
Mhm.
to, you know, like if let's just say you have a moment where your anxiety is rising. Like what do you do to pull yourself in?
I would say I let myself have it more than I used to. I like let
Okay.
myself just go
Let
to
it out.
worst case scenario. Well, like I just like go to rock bottom. Like
Okay.
fine, just give in,
Mhm.
go to rock bottom. What does this look like in the very worst case scenario? Like you lose everything, you're sitting on a street corner, you have nothing, you're begging for like whatever. Okay, it's not going to the likelihood of it getting that bad is pretty slim to none. Okay, so like walk yourself back up from rock bottom. I think sometimes the resistance of it is even harder because we're just constantly like, don't let yourself go there versus like, well, just for fun, go there. Like you're already having a panic attack basically anyway. So like just play it out in your head. Go to rock bottom. What does it look like? How does it play out? Sometimes I just laugh at myself. Like, okay, how many stages would it take to get there? Like, you have really great family. You would move in with your parents. My daughter, my grandparents. Like, there's so many avenues before I ended up on the street, right? So it's like when you start like pulling yourself back from rock bottom, you start going, yeah. I mean, I'm probably gonna be fine. It's probably okay. Um, I think a lot of it is, yeah, nervous system regulation, and that is that has played out so many different ways for me. I have a friend, Anna, who does breath work, and I'm not somebody who does well with breath work when I am in crisis. It does not calm me. If anything, it jacks my nervous system up even worse. I cannot ground. I cannot get into my body. Um, I think hormones play a big part. Like, I think the physical component of things definitely plays a role. What we're eating, how we're responding to the choices that we make environmentally, whether we're choosing them or not. Some of it is just environmental. Um, yeah, the people that we're surrounding ourselves with. There's so many factors. It's like there's not just like one thing that's like this magical hack or this tool in the toolbox, right? There's constant. There's the hammer, the screwdriver, the nail, all the different things. And I think everyone just has to figure that out for what that is for them. I'm not somebody that can meditate. I am an active meditator. I get more while I'm cleaning my kitchen, while I'm making food or on a walk than I would just forcing myself to sit down and meditate. And I did do quite a bit of meditation years ago. And I'm not saying it's not helpful. It was good for my nervous system. But I just noticed that when it comes to like being able to work through things, I tend to be a more active person. And I think that's just dependent on who you are, you know? One thing that I was going to go back to when you were talking about um, going into the schools and how this is a shift and a change for you, not something that you've previously done. One thing that's been coming up really heavy for myself and a couple other friends that are kind of in the same mode of like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Like, this just doesn't really, yeah, I mean, I love it. I do love what I do. Um, but there's like something missing, right? Where I just like can't quite put my finger on it. And part of me is like, am I just addicted to some destination where I have to like set a new goal and then like I have to like work toward this? I'm never just content with just being where it is. So is that something that like I just need to work on instead of always thinking there's something more to chase? But the
Or
one thing
are
that
you, I don't want to interrupt you, but are you talking about like doing the mediumship or doing the management? Because you
both,
manage at both. Okay. So she
both,
manages, Amanda manages a bar
a
restaurant,
restaurant.
right?
Yep.
Yeah, a restaurant.
Hmm.
Restaurant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Both.
yeah.
You
So,
know,
but
it's just, yeah. Or just feeling like there has to be something else, or what's going to work, or this isn't working right now, and kind of that freak out mode of what's next, or that has to be one way or the other. Maybe it's a combo platter, which is generally my life is generally a combo platter of a little bit of everything. Um, but the thing that's been coming through the most the last week with myself and a couple other friends who are in similar situations where they're kind of like back and forth between like the functional alternative intuitive world and being in the system or a system or more of like a 9 to 5 job type of setting is purpose. What purpose is this serving? And feeling as though, am I being of service to the world through this job? Am I don't know. And again, I don't even know what service looks like for me. It's like, yeah, I can go work at a homeless shelter and be of service. I can find purpose in anything, right? So something that came through this morning with a friend that I was talking to was we forgot how to find miracles in the mundane. Like we forgot to just like be grateful that the sun is shining and the temps are cooler and it's a beautiful morning to walk and that the colors are changing and we can see them. We can hear the birds singing. That like it doesn't have to be this like large outworldly thing. It can just be, where are the miracles in the mundane? I smiled at someone and said hi at the grocery store. Maybe no one else had done that. Maybe they don't give a shit. That's possible too, but where where do I need to make my life more purposeful? So I don't know if that's like something that you feel like with this job. I feel like people are getting more and more pulled toward that. Like, I need to be of service. I need to have a purpose that like,
I would 100% agree with that because I feel like that is for me the last year, I've been focusing, half of my time, if you want to say, um, to build like online stuff, right? But
Mhm.
with that, and it's great and all, but the purpose wasn't there. It's not, like I need to be in person. Like that's me. Like
Mhm.
them, helping in person versus online, which I still have online stuff. Yes, but it just feels like it wasn't filling my cup as far as purpose goes.
Mhm.
And I like, where am I going? What do I need? That's all running through my head. Um, and my friend Heather is also, I talked to her for life coaching stuff, and she's just like, says the same, almost like gives me these questions, and I'm just like, I don't know, how do I answer that? But it's more so like, what right now in this moment, in other words, you are fine. Like it is,
Mhm.
like, look at everything. And she's like, just instead of, you journal, yes, but maybe every day when you open your journal, start with 5 things you're grateful for.
Grateful for, yeah. And they can't be the
Simple.
same things.
No,
And
simple
that gets
5
real
things you're
hard.
grateful for, then
Yeah.
go into your, because then you're going to realize that, okay, like it, everything is okay when you feel like you're crashing and burning, right?
Most of the time
But
it's perceived. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yep. But
Mhm.
I agree with that. Like the purpose thing, right? I feel like I get so much more out of training somebody in person than I do sending them online videos, that
Mhm.
type of thing. So
The human connection.
yes, yes.
We've lost that so much over the last 5 years. So much. I mean, COVID initiated a huge gap in the way in which we were communing with each other, right? I mean, we stopped being in person on every level. I even with the restaurant industry, it's just like we forgot how to like meet each other. One of my favorite things is we're a destination place, and it's like people are like, we're coming from a half an hour east, and we're coming from a half an hour west or north or south, and like we're meeting here. And it's like we've forgotten how to do that. Like call each other up and be like, I would love to see you. Let's go have some drinks and a bite to eat and catch up. And it's like a lot of that's been lost. And a lot of people like are just busy, as you know, too, with sports, and they found their community that way, right? Where they're running their kids, and then they've created relationships and friendships that way. But it's like, how do we get back to like just hanging out in each other's garages, kind of 2020 style, right? Like without it having to be, we have to spend a bunch of money in order to do all the things too. Someone had made a comment about like, I get annoyed if people just stop by and they don't tell me ahead of time. And I'm like, oh my gosh, my whole childhood was like, you just show up at each other's houses and you walk into your grandma and grandpa's, and now it's such an inconvenience, like it just all these like, little things that we've lost that are just so important. And now we're just annoyed by them. Like, how dare they, call me before they text to see if I'm available? It's just, I don't know, it's so silly, and yet it's so the world. And I just think it's sad that we've lost a lot of that in terms of how we relate to each other, and again, what our purpose is. Like my great grandma, I mean, I can still hear her voice when we would walk down the driveway saying, Amanda and Josie, I have cookies. Come stop in. And it's like that's like my core fond memories of her was baking in the kitchen. Who said that wasn't purpose? You know? I don't know.
Mhm.
Like I
Mhm.
think we like grandiose like what purpose is supposed to be. That it's supposed to be this big thing that we're like chasing. And this is like things that I've just been processing lately too, where it's like, what if it's just super simple? What if it's when I'm waiting on a table, I just want to make sure they have the best experience and nice, friendly conversation. And, I don't know, like why does it have to be something so far fetched and out there that we're all chasing instead of just
Yes.
being content
Yes.
with like, hanging out?
Like it has to be this huge thing, but maybe just go back to the basics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't
Yeah.
even know what that is anymore because
I
everything that
know.
we're watching is, this model on Insta and this TikTok influencer and this, and it's like, God, I'm never doing enough. I'm never doing enough. It's never enough. Like I just listened to a sermon on Sunday from Eagle Brook Church. And I just, again, happened to, like, here's good things that happen to come through my feed at the right time. So social is not always bad. So I clicked on it and just started listening. And, they were talking about this like constant chasing of the next destination. Like we're never content. We're never satisfied. Or we've gotten too hooked on it's supposed to look a certain way. So we sit in the parking lot and we wait. He was talking about a friend who had this like perfect resume and was waiting for the perfect job. And he was like, I ended up telling him, like, listen, until you find your perfect job, you're going to have to get a job to make some money. And like, that's not coming from God, that's coming from your wife. Like,
Mhm.
this isn't some profound, what prophetic, whatever. This
Yeah.
is just like, that's life. We're still here to live it. So I feel like we have these like swings of the pendulum where it's like, we're either hanging out in the parking lot, just waiting for things to show up for us. And like, the perfect thing has to arrive and I have to wait for the sign and da 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 da. Instead of like living life in the interim, even if it's not perfect or what maybe we thought it was going to be, we can still make purpose out of it.
Yes.
Or
Yep.
we're addicted to the destination and we're hooked on what's next, what's next, what's next, what's next. Um,
Mhm. Mhm.
so again, like, and I don't know if there's ever any perfect balance, but it's just like
Yeah.
this awareness of like,
And
like,
I think like, like having a what's next and having a goal to, but you still have to live your life to get to that goal,
sure.
right? Like
Yeah.
small steps to get to there. So,
And
looking
again,
into the
would our
future,
nervous
but
systems be less fried if we did more hanging out in the garage and stopping by to see our grandparents? I mean, that was Sunday.
mhm.
Um, I was with my mom, my grandma, and my daughter. Like super cool that 4 generations are still alive and well enough to even go do something for the day. But it was like we were outside picking flowers at a beautiful farm. We went and had lunch. We had drinks. We had coffee and we didn't talk anything worldly. We just talked about each other. Like, how is life? How is your job? How are things? I learned things about their marriages through the years. How hard life can be and how they work through various traumas and things that happen to them. Like, just like the simplicity of just showing up and being. I said to my mom and my grandma, when's the last time we did this? We don't do this anymore. We don't make time for this. We're too busy.
Mhm.
Like what about our nervous system just like
Yeah.
being?
Well, and just like I feel like we as a family travel a lot for our kids' baseball, right? So when we're not in that season, I've come to it where I'm just like, I just want to be home. Like I just want to be home. We can have barbecues, friends over, or go to our friends that, is in our town, just not, we travel so much with baseball. Let's not travel for a while, like
Mhm,
outside of baseball and just be home. And that's okay. Um,
mhm,
and then, like a few weeks, Labor Day weekend, I had two friends up and we, from out of town, and we stayed in the loft. We have a loft inside of our garage that's like a almost like a small apartment. And so we were thinking like let's go somewhere, let's go hiking somewhere. And when it got a little bit closer, I was like, why don't we just stay in the loft? It's free, we don't have to pay for an Airbnb. And there's so much to do in our little area. So like we
mhm.
spent one whole day like going up the Mississippi, hitting the small towns, going to a little cafe, going to these little shops, and it was just so like it was great. It was the best like girls weekend, and it was just all around here in our little area. So
Right.
we toned it down, we made it simple. We didn't have to go fly halfway across the United States to go for a girls weekend.
Right.
We stayed right here in our backyard and it was amazing.
Yeah.
So I just think about little things like that.
Yeah. We were talking about that too. When we went this flower farm. It was like I haven't been on this road in 20 years. And then we're like talking like where does this end up and like where does this gravel road go and oh my gosh it ends up in Alba and da 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 like I was like oh I've never taken this way here. And then you just start thinking about like all the, like just going for a drive. Like, I don't know about you, but like that was the thing we used to do when we were younger. Like my
Yeah.
dad would get the spotlight out, he'd shine for deer. We'd go looking for deer in the field, and we would just go for drives. We would go look at different homes. My dad was a
Yep.
builder, so it was like we
Yep.
would go, he'd be like, "Oh, I'll show you where I'm building, or I'll show you this house that I'm doing," or like that was like fun and excitement. Like you just get in the car and you just drive around. I mean, again, 2020, like I feel like we did a bunch of that stuff where it was just
Mhm. Mhm.
go for a drive, see where this road takes us, see where that takes us,
Yeah. Well, I even
Yeah,
tell my kids, um, like when I was younger, I could, like we would go to the cities a lot because I had family up there, and I could get there, knew how to drive around there like it was nothing, right? My kids would not even know how to, I feel sometimes, get to the town because they're not looking out the window, right?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
they're looking, it's I wish that would, which is
They're
also just
unaware
like
of their
put your
surroundings.
phone, yeah, put your phone down, look out the window, know where you're at, know how
Yeah,
to.
tell me how we get here. Like
Yeah,
you figure it out. I'm gonna get us there. You have to get us back home.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
That's a big change, I feel like, from like when we were, younger and going for drives and you just knew how to go almost everywhere without GPS.
yeah. And landmarks, right? Because you like, for me, it was never street signs. It was always
Yeah,
landmarks, right? Like,
yes.
how do you turn by the big red barn and take a right, and then I don't know, like three driveways, and then you take a left.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah. But you wouldn't have known had you not been paying attention. And
I know, right?
we don't have to do that anymore. And don't get me wrong, like I love the amenities of life. Like
Hmm.
I love my Siri and my GPS and not having to think and be so stressed, and like there are a lot of things that have made life so much easier. Like I love air conditioning. I love I love a lot of
Yeah,
things.
yeah, yeah.
Airplanes, all the things, right? But yeah, at the same time, it's just like I don't know. That has just been coming up very heavily for me the past week. It's just like we forgot a lot. We
Hmm. Hmm.
get back to the basics, and yet is that even a thing anymore? So,
I feel like it can be, but you have to do that. Like you
yeah,
have to
it's
be
conscious
disciplined.
effort.
Yes, it is conscious effort, disciplined enough to do it, and
Yeah.
driven enough to want to do it.
Yeah, to teach your kids, to instill in them like these things, because it's like we're the last generation that's gonna even know this was a thing, right? Like considering where things are headed and how quickly they're headed there, AI, I mean, is moving so crazy rapidly. Like I've taught, this is another conversation I had on Sunday, was um he owns an HVAC company, and they have glasses where you can walk in, put in the serial and model number. It'll assess the entire unit, and then it will like basically troubleshoot it for you. I mean, it's just wild. Like where you don't have to think anymore, So it's like again that's happened so quickly. I mean, I'm sure in the background it's taken a while, but considering where we're at versus where we were even a year or two ago, I feel like Chat GPT has,
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I remember when the internet first came out, when we first got cell phones, and when we like,
yeah, yeah, me
yeah,
too. Like my dad had a bag phone in his truck, and it was like such a foreign thing. Like you can talk while you're
yeah,
driving. Okay, yeah. And like I
yeah,
don't I
yeah.
don't know, it's simplicity again, like just back to the basics, the simplicity, the whatever. And life is just like we've been robbed of a lot of that, partially because we've allowed it, partially because it's easier not to do it. But yeah, I just feel like there's been some just this in the amidst all of the chaos that's happening around us and the tension that we can feel building on like a national global scale. It's just how do we on a micro level just kind of pull back and go, I unsubscribe to this. Like I don't I don't want to be plugged in anymore. I don't have notifications on my phone for Insta, for Facebook, for text, and I believe I do for Snapchat. But other than that, I don't have notifications. I don't want to be plugged in all the time.
Yeah.
even just things like
More
that.
so like when
Watches,
you want, yeah,
you know,
like when you'll pick up your phone when you want to see if somebody, yeah,
sure. Like, oh, I can check and yeah, see what's going on. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I've uninstalled Insta and Facebook again on my phone. And if it wasn't for the restaurant, I wouldn't have even went back to Facebook. I just do the marketing and I do the posts, but it's just like, again, it's like I don't want to be a slave to this stuff. I don't want to have to do it. I don't want it to be a forced choice to show up, right? I feel like we've been fed that. Like in order, Mandy, for your business to grow, you need to do more marketing and it needs to be better and you got to be on all the time and doing lives and videos and that's da. And it's like that's not true, but at the same time, like, what if I don't want to? Like, yeah. What if we do? I used to set up when I did a lot of talking around mental health in the schools, we would set up like 7 to 10 day social media detoxes. Everybody
Oh,
unplug their
nice.
phone,
Yeah.
fully uninstall, or completely, if you feel like you can't uninstall it without going on it on a laptop or whatever, then fully deactivate your account for 7 days and
And
watch
how
yourself.
did you ever get like feedback from people that did that and tried it? Like,
It's really hard, and then you
hmm
really love it
hmm
because you get used to it. But yeah, the first couple of days, people are generally just appalled at how often they pick up their phone, how often they're constantly boom, boom, boom. And that was even before watches where everything was like right here. So you're even more hooked in and not missing a beat. But yeah, I mean, people would say, I didn't think I was that bad. I pick up my phone a lot to look at Facebook. And then it's like I get on there. I'm like that today because I uninstalled stuff yesterday. And I'm like that today. I'm like, there's
Yeah.
not an app to look at.
Yeah. Is probably more of like a big eye opener for people,
Oh
right?
yeah. Yeah. Again, you're becoming aware. Like you don't realize it until when I quit smoking, I didn't realize, I had no idea that I smoked as much as I did until I worked with a practitioner who made me tally how much I smoked every day. Just start tallying your cigarettes for 2 weeks. I just want to see how much you smoke. And I was like, oh, it's not that much. Yep. Started every time I had a cigarette, I was like, oh my God. Okay. I did not know. And then from there, it was like, oh, okay, for the next 2 weeks, you're just gonna cut it down by one. You just have one less cigarette. And it was like, oh, that's manageable. I can totally do that.
hmm
But just the awareness of like, I'm sure you do this like food journaling too. It's like I didn't think I was consuming that much. We never think we're consuming as much as we are because it becomes such a
Yeah.
habit so quickly. Yeah. We're all guilty of it. Like, yeah, no shame.
hmm hmm
Yep.
Oh, for sure. What are you finding with like, or have you had some medium sessions lately with people and are you finding that like are feeling the same way? Like it's almost like a straight across the board type thing? Like what with your feeling and, oh, sorry. Like what you're feeling, are you feeling is other people as well that you know of?
Yeah, I think people are in crisis. I do think that like genuinely people are really struggling. I think there's a lot of health stuff going on in families. I think there's tragedy. I think life really is hard. And I'm sure that if I asked my grandparents to walk us through the decades and generations, if they would attest to like, yeah, well, life's always been hard. There's always been struggle. There's always been whatever, that maybe it's not really that much different cyclically than it has been before. But it does, again, it just feels like this pressure point, this crescendo where people, and maybe we have to have this in order for people to think different. Maybe this is like part of the awakening process where we go, oh shit, like they're dying, or oh my God, how do I want to live my life? Or I'm really sick and I don't want to be anymore. Or, maybe unfortunately that's what it takes for us to become aware. Um, but yeah, I do feel bad because I don't want to like negate that people are financially, I mean, everyone can attest to that. I think,
Hmm.
we can't ignore that, like, yeah, I mean, people in survival mode equals, desperate times call for desperate measures, and we don't want that either. So,
No, no. So, what would you say to give any? Well, what would you give your your clients as far as tips? You're probably like, I need to give myself tips right now too. But, like, because I feel like sometimes I'm telling my clients or members like so much stuff, and then it's like, okay, Mandy, you need to do that too. Like, you don't
yeah.
do that stuff enough yourself. You can easily give the advice, but when right? So, in all of this, right now, and everything that we've talked about today, tips that you would give your clients about like
So first off, the teacher
everything.
is always the student. The teacher is never just the teacher. The teacher is always the student. And I learned that when I was in schools teaching on mental health. They taught me way more than I was teaching them. Like, they were constantly, their feedback was constantly, I was evolving every time I would talk, because they would bring up this, or, oh my gosh, this is a common theme. We should go more this route, right? So, and I think of that of most people, like, even when I'm aggravated or irritated or in stressful situations, it's like, all right, they're my teacher. Like, here we go. Just got to figure it out. Um, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I just think, like, go back to your childhood, especially to anyone who's like 30 and over, who remembers what like more of a simplistic childhood looked like. Even my daughter and my daughter's 20. We were just talking about this a couple weeks ago. No, last week. Um, I was like, yeah, one of my friends is like struggling with her daughter to, not have as much. They're gonna like cut out TV time where she can only have an hour, like on Friday and Saturday nights. And I was like, yeah, but you didn't even grow up with TV. Like, we didn't have a TV. I was like, what did you even watch? Like, the only time we watched something was if we put in a DVD to like sit down and watch a movie together. It was like intentional. But we didn't have like streaming. I refused to pay for cable. I was like, we had the music going, like that was background noise. We are pretty big music people, but other than that, she's like, yeah, mom, no, I really didn't grow up with, and she didn't get a phone until she was 15, and that was a big deal. Like, that was, yeah, in today's age, like that's a big deal. But yeah, I mean, it's like, go back to the basics. Like, what used to bring you joy? What were simplistic things that you did that you didn't have to pay money for, that were calming to your body, that felt good? Stopping by and having coffee with someone, playing a card game, playing a board game. Like, I don't know, we've lost so much touch with so many things, and especially the people around us, and just being intentional in what we're doing and why we're doing it.
Yeah,
And
it's funny it's funny you say go back to like your childhood because this past weekend I just had my 25-year class reunion,
okay,
and I went and I'm like talking about and reminiscing on some of the stories with a couple of my high school friends that I mean I have on Facebook now, but I don't talk to them like,
sure.
all the time. And so it has been years since I've seen them. But just talking, I mean, like we were just like gut laughing at some of the stories, just reminiscing on, the past. And it was all, and then, like looking at it, we were all together. There was no phone. We didn't
Right.
talk on the phone. And
Yeah.
one of my friends, she even was just like, I remember when, like, if you didn't get or you missed the phone call because it was on a house phone, you missed
Sure.
the phone call and you star 6 9 it to see who it was, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, to see who
for
called
sure.
because you're
No
like,
caller ID. Yep.
yes, I don't want to
Mhm.
miss I don't want to miss the party. Where's everybody at? Like,
Yeah.
like did I miss the call and now I'm stuck at home and I'm left out,
Yep.
So it was just like just thinking back on those but it was like we were all like smiling and laughing. Like
Yeah.
that was good times.
And like, there wasn't any instant gratification. Like, I was just talking to some again on Sunday. I had all types of these conversations on Sundays, and apparently, yeah, this was perfect timing. But he was just talking about how, his kids are doing chores and he's paying them and like, what that's going to look like and like where they're going to spend their money. And I was saying that I remember hearing Dave Ramsey say that you set up 3 jars and everything that they make has to be split 3 ways. So one is for your fun spending money. One is for donation. What are you going to give to? And then the other was savings. And
Oh,
so
that's
it's like
good.
you put them in the jar. Kids they don't get this. Everything's electronic. Like they don't understand that like I'm going to give you cash. Here's your $20, split up in ones or whatever. And then we're going to slowly build. It's like if you miss the phone call and you miss the party, like sucks to suck. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's
Yeah.
nothing more to
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
you missed out on your ride, like all the deets, all the things. Like you're staying
Yes.
home.
Now you're stuck at home.
Yeah, and now it's like, oh my god, I got Snapchat, I Instagram, I da da da. Like there's such. You wonder why there's
Yeah.
like anxiety all the time. Like FOMO is legit a thing. Not that it wasn't a thing back then, but it's like even more of a thing. Back then, it was just more acceptable that like, oh, that sucked. I'm
Well,
grounded
and you
again.
couldn't see, right? You couldn't see what was going on. But now if you're missing it, you can see it
Right, it's
instantly
everywhere.
what
True.
you're
Yeah,
missing.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So then it's just in your face that like, you suck. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it
I
is. It's
know.
just
Yeah.
wild how. And I just think we were so lucky. We were so lucky.
I,
Like we didn't even know it.
I would
Yeah.
agree.
Even all the
100%.
groundings,
100%.
all the things, all the trouble.
But again,
We had the
you're going back to not needing to do that stuff. Not because you naturally did it, right? Like
best.
now we have to take time to do it to get away from.
Right.
So yeah,
Which
goal.
I mean, people are saying I feel like it was like the Today Show or something that came across my feed where people are going back to home phones. And that was another thing. We lived in the country. We always had a
Yes, I
home
saw that. Yeah.
my daughter, Gabby, knows we had a phone number and you had to call because I didn't get good service when we lived in the country. We just moved to town in 2013. So, yeah, it was like a legit call the home phone. We had caller ID. So we knew if
Yeah.
someone called. But you know what I mean? It's just like, yeah, they're talking
Mhm.
about they're starting to take away phones from kids, especially with all this AI and like all this updated stuff. And going back to like call your friend. My cousin who lives in the cities says that that was a big thing with her daughter. The only way you can talk to your friends is if you call them. You have to physically call and talk to them.
Call it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, it's
yeah.
teaching them, what I don't like
Communicate.
also about, I mean, like, I feel like AI, like, I use it as a tool for my job, right?
Sure.
Like, there is good
Marketing.
to it, but what I
Yeah.
don't like is you go on feeds now and you can't even tell if it's real or not. You can't tell if
Hmm.
it's AI made or if it's actually real. So it's half the stuff I'm reading, I'm like, I don't even know if I can believe this. Well,
Right.
most of
And
you can't
then why
anyways.
am I wasting my time? But then
Exactly, exactly.
but then I feel like I'm apathetic and totally out of touch with the rest of humanity and that I'm not like being empathetic enough because I'm not like in the know of like what's happening in Gaza or Israel or like all the places, right? And then it's like I mean, again, did anyone know this stuff years ago? Like did anyone a tribe know what was happening and they took care of their own like do we just need to get back to like whatever's in front of me? Whatever
Hmm.
is in front of me is what I need to be. This is my purpose. This is where my attention needs to be. But it's like this push pull of I don't know enough, and yet when I'm watching it, I'm like, I don't know. Should I even believe it? Like now I'm just tapped out. I don't even like. Why am I wasting my time reading this stuff? I don't even know the sources that it came from, and you can't even
Yeah.
tell anyone.
Yeah.
It's just exhausting.
Yeah.
See, we're just exhausted talking about it.
I know. I know.
Like
Well,
you just
before
get all
I
spun out in circles, and you're like, God, we should just go outside.
we should just go for a walk, which actually I've been going on walks with no music, no nothing, and just like letting my mind go, listening to nature. It's great, actually.
Yeah. Again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we're too overstimulated. It's always in the background. There's always something that's not going, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't again, like I don't claim to know it all, have it all. I certainly don't do it all. Um, but yeah, I just feel like lately it's just been this unplugging, this need for an unplug. Like enough. I'm sick of people screaming from the rooftops about this belief and that belief and that.
Yes.
What about this and da da da? And it's just like fucking love each other. I
Yes.
don't know. Like just be better humans on the most basic level. Like
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
Say hi.
Back to simplicity, back to the
Yeah.
basics, back to everything. Just
Yeah.
grow up,
Like
people. Grow
just
up.
just say hi to someone, to a stranger. Help someone that you see is in need of something. Like it's doesn't have to be anything, again, like miracles in the mundane, in the monotony. Like
Hmm. Or
again, our
then
life was like
stopping.
mundane and monotonous before. Like
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
90s, we were pretty freaking boring.
Hmm.
And yet
Hmm.
we were good.
Yeah. Or like stop and think about what the example that you're showing to your children or grandchildren.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah, nobody
just
thinks
stop.
about that.
Just
Yeah.
stop. Well, they should.
Yeah. Well, should, yes,
should.
but
Should.
rarely
Yeah.
do. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Any final thoughts? No?
No, I'm not really
I,
feeling super inspirational. I'm just like, good luck out there,
well,
guys. May
it's,
the odds be ever in your favor.
I know. I know. But also, what do you, I mean, like, don't be afraid of change, right? Like, because, like, you're in the middle of possibly changing,
Yeah. I
stuff.
mean,
Just,
transformation it's you can resist it or you can go with it. I think what I like about kind of what's been happening or appears to be in my world anyways is that people are having these like really cool kind of spontaneous like downloads and like this spontaneous healing, I guess, where it's just like things just kind of click and like I don't want it anymore. Yeah, I'm not going to stay in this abusive relationship. No, I don't. This job isn't going to work for me. Or the other end of the spectrum is like I'm really going to commit to this. I'm somebody who hasn't been, I've always been in flight mode, and like I'm really going to buckle down and I'm going to like decide that this is where I want to put my time, energy, and effort, and I want to be conscious about it. And so I think it doesn't matter how it shows up. It's just cool that people, I feel like things are happening at such a rapid rate and people are working through things so much more rapidly that a lot of healing that's happening. But with that comes like, the burn before. You can't have the regrowth of the forest, until the fire has diminished. And I feel like a lot of people are kind of in that, again, all in different areas of their lives. But it's also for the good. Like I know that like for as exhausted as I am, as defeated as I feel, as much as like whatever, fine, do with me what you will. I know that I'm here for a short amount of time. It's gonna pass. The clarity will come. It's okay. I'll see it eventually. In the meantime, I'm fine. Like I have a bed to sleep in. All my basic needs are it's fine. Yeah. The lion is not around the corner. Like we have trained ourselves to think like it's right there and it's not. So it's like we're okay. We're going to be okay. But like sometimes it's okay to not be okay. I said that multiple times on Sunday too. Like people were like it's fine and I was like it doesn't sound fine. Well, not right now. Right. It's okay that it's not okay. Like it's okay to not be fine too. It's okay that it really fucking sucks right now.
yep. Yeah.
Yeah. We don't
And
give
it'll
ourselves that
pass.
permission either.
No,
Yeah.
and it'll pass. But you still need to go on living. Like you still need to, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure.
But
Not let it totally take you under. But yeah, I mean, there's always beauty that follows, right? There's always the rainbow after the storm.
mm-hmm.
So it will be fine. And my favorite quote is Philip Yancey: "Faith is trusting in advance what will only make sense in reverse." And I feel like that is life. It is always going to make sense in reverse. You just got to like have a faith in something bigger than yourself, that what you can't see is working for you.
Yes.
And then you have to show up and do the work.
Yes. If I had $1 for every time you told me that, Mandy, it's gonna make sense in reverse. It's gonna make
Yep.
sense in reverse. Okay, okay,
It's okay.
okay.
Hang
And then I
in
tell
there. Hang
Chad,
in there.
Chad, she
Yep.
says it's gonna make sense.
You'll see it. You'll see it. It's just gonna take a minute. Yeah, and
So
I there's a lot of times that I give the advice that I was talking to another medium friend today, and I was like, "Oh, I'm so annoyed with myself that I'm telling you this because I don't even want to tell you this, but it's so basic." But like, oh, here it is. It's like, but sometimes it is like the most basic stuff where it's like, go back to the basics, back to the simplicity of like everything doesn't need to be so complicated.
yep,
Yeah.
yep.
So, yeah, good. I think
Perfect.
this is good timing for the conversation.
This was
So,
good.
yeah.
This was good.
Well, thanks so much.
All
Good to see
right.
you again.
Yes, yes. Thank you all for listening, and hopefully that you got some good info out of our conversation today. Thankful for our conversation. We should have more conversations like this. This
Yeah.
was good.
Just candid and yeah.
So,
No.
but just a little tip, sometimes the most powerful thing we can do for ourselves isn't adding more, it's allowing less. So take a step back, take a deep breath, unplug, go back to the basics, be simple, and find your true self. That will help with part of that too. So if you liked this episode, share it with a friend, like it, leave a review, but take a deep breath, go outside, unplug, and remember your true strength comes from your mind, body, and spirit when they are aligned. So I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Hey, y'all, the information shared in this podcast is for educational and motivational purposes only and is not intended to replace professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.